Congratulations! You've connected with the Pulpit Perspectives podcast. Join Reverend Doctor Kent Lundy as he connects with pastors where they preach, literally at the pulpit of their church. It's a point of view with purpose and personality that informs and inspires with real life stories from great preachers you need to know. Your host is Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy. Let's join Kent at a pulpit with a fresh perspective from his guest preacher.
Hello and welcome to Pulpit Perspectives podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy. Pulpit Perspectives podcast exists to create connections among clergy of the North District of the Indiana Annual Conference and their congregation. I'm coming to you from the chancel of Hebron United Methodist Church in Hebron, Indiana. Standing here sharing his pulpit with me for this interview is their pastor, Pastor Wayne Williams. Wayne, welcome.
Welcome to Hebron.
Thank you. It's good to be back. All right. So how long have you been the pastor here?
Just over 2 years.
Just over 2 years. And before that, where were you?
I was at Morocco First and Mount Air United Methodist Church, and I was there for 9.5 years. So
I don't know that I could pick those out on a map. Where are we talking?
they're on the west side of the state, right near the state line, US 41.
Sure.
So in between Lafayette and Maryville.
Okay.
So
just down the road a bit. Maybe.
little towns.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. So what do you do for fun?
What do I do? I like to read. I know that's odd for a pastor because we read a lot, but since I'm not in course study any longer, I completed that program. I get to read what I want to read. And so I read historical fiction, mostly military historical fiction, and I'm an avid reader. I read 3 books at one time.
Wow. Oh, wow. You are gifted at that. Okay. Awesome. All right. So who are you, Mary or Martha?
I think I've been asked that before, and I think I'm a little bit of both, depending on the situation. There are times when I am more of a Martha, get the job done. We got things we're doing. I mean, that's what I've been working on all week, or things that need to get done. But there are those times that you need to sit at the feet of Jesus. You know, you need to be there and listen and just hear what he has to say to you and worship. And so it all depends on the situation, I think. So
Yeah. Little both. I like
little
it.
both.
All right. So what is your favorite church season?
Advent. I would say definitely Advent, that expectation, that Christ is coming. And you see that in everybody and everything during that season. Some are, the expectation of parties and get-togethers, the expectation of presents, on Christmas, and just that whole season is about that. And so I try to couple that with the Christ child that's coming. And I believe that's one of the most important events, is that virgin birth sets up all of Christianity. That if that didn't happen, then what do we have?
Right.
So that expectation, Advent.
Yes. Okay. Expectation and celebration.
Yes.
Is what I heard you say. Absolutely. Yeah. Can't do any better than that. All right. So what are you celebrating?
I am celebrating this congregation. 2 years ago when I came here, as pastors, we like to have book studies and Bible studies and people involved in those things. And I tried to start those up and it didn't work. And I was frustrated, and I went to God about that. And he just set me down and said, look at what your people are doing. Look at where they are at. And this congregation is involved in the community, in service organizations, in reaching out and helping others. Our food pantry program is huge. And I had to take a step back and say, okay, they get it. They're doing work for the Lord. So then how do we capitalize on that? So we're working on some things to do that. We're starting off very small with small groups and trying to get people together. And that's kind of our focus, is to do that. So they give me joy, though, because I can go anywhere in the community and people will say, oh, Methodist Church. I know where that's at. I know someone who goes there. I know who you guys are about because of the hands and feet of Christ. because there are just multiple organizations that they are a piece of. Also, what gives me great joy is we had 5 kids go to camp. Over 95% of the cost of camp was covered by the church at various groups and individual donations. So to me, that is fantastic. We had 5. And then I get to talk with those kids here after we get done here. We're going to have ice cream with a couple of them to actually hear about their camping experience. For my wife and I, camping is a huge, huge blessing to us. And it was for our kids and it was for us personally.
Wow, lots to celebrate. I love it. Yay, God.
Yes.
All right. So what is your one go-to Bible verse?
Say Isaiah 43:1. I know you by name and you are mine. And I have had that ever since I got into the ministry. And I hold on to that he knows me. He knows all about me. He knows all my imperfections, everything I've ever said or done, but he still calls me by name and says, I want you. I want you to speak to the people. I want you to be my hands and feet in these congregations.
That relational, personal connection we have to God.
Yes.
Amen. That'll preach, brother.
I know.
It has. It will and it has. So who inspired your call to ministry?
Reverend Dennis Tyson. I was the head trustee in my local church when he and his wife came to our church, and I remember meeting them for the first time to go over painting for different rooms and things that we wanted to fix up the parsonage. And I thought, God sent us teenagers because they looked very young, but we became great friends. And Dennis he stretched my thinking of Christianity and what it meant to really be a Christian. And that was going to lay speaker school, Old Calumet District up here in Valpo, taking speaking classes, and then speaking in churches, being in every leadership position in the church. He just stretched my faith and showed me a God that really loved me and cared for me. So he had always said, I think you need to go into the ministry. And I did like all pastors say early on, I can never be a pastor. And so that did happen though, eventually. And the other person who was instrumental was Reverend Darren Williams. He was my pastor right before I went into the ministry and showed an extreme amount of love and grace and mercy at the time, very supportive. And we went through the Purple Book together. And some of the pastors out there know what the Purple Book is. So,
yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for that witness. All right. So who or what keeps you humble?
Is it okay if I say United Women in Faith? I'm just kidding. Yeah, they're great ladies. You guys are fantastic. You do wonderful things. So, and they've welcomed me into their fold. So I would say what keeps me humble is the children when they come forward for the children's sermon. I have like 12 or 15 kids that come up, and it doesn't matter how much you prepare. They have questions or they say things that you go, okay, I wasn't ready for that.
Improvisational ministry.
Right. That's right. And it's just that they're such a blessing, but they keep me humble because I have to realize that, man, that's our church sitting right there every Sunday morning. And we just need to bring them in. And they are so excited to come to church. They're so excited to be here with their families. And that keeps me humble because that's what it's about, isn't it? Building those relationships with those kids so they can have a relationship with Jesus. So,
wow. Yeah. Amen. Yeah. If we fail our children, we fail.
Correct.
We might as well just shut the door.
Right. You're right.
Go to lunch because the rest of it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. Well, good for you. Yeah. Good for you. So if you only had one preacher to listen to the rest of your life, who would that preacher be?
Probably Bishop James Swanson from the Mississippi Conference. First time I heard him preach, 2016 General Conference, and he just blew me away. He speaks with passion and conviction, and he tells it like it is. And I guess it goes back to my roots of those early pastors that they just said it, and they challenged you, and he challenges you. And I could listen to him. I could listen to him all day. Just a good preacher.
Say his name one more time.
James Swanson.
James.
He was the bishop of the Mississippi Conference.
Okay.
So.
All right. I'll have to check him out. James Swanson. All right. So pretend with me. Just pretend with me.
Oh, boy.
You're going to go axe throwing. Okay. So that's not up for debate. You're going axe throwing. Who from the Bible are you taking with you to go axe throwing?
How about Noah?
Okay. Why?
Here's a dude who got a message, a mission from God as a former military officer, an operations order he got from God saying, build an ark, and told him how to do it. And he did it. And I can hang out with a dude like that because as a former officer, I give missions, I give out my commander's intent for what I wanted my troops to do. So I understand what that means. And I think I could hang out with him. And here's the other thing. He's building an ark. They had to take breaks during that time period. Axe throwing may have been a part of that. The break time.
I can imagine that.
So I want to see the skill that this guy has, right?
Yeah. I can picture, the scrap lumber piles
Right. That's
off
right.
to the side that they're winging these axes.
Sure.
And have a little competition.
Yeah.
And the old man is showing up his three sons.
Yeah, all the sons, right?
Yeah, it's
They're
like,
like, how does he do that?
Yeah,
How
look,
does he do that?
school's in session.
That's right.
The axe throwing school
That's
is in
right.
session. So come learn a thing or two from the old man. Okay, Noah, got it. Okay. Well, maybe that's a sermon series.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
I got to do my notebook. So
Axe throwing sermon series. All right. So when you think of your fellow clergy, whether you know them directly or somewhat at a distance, what do you hope your fellow clergy know?
I hope they know to just be you. Don't try to be everything to everybody because you can't. But just be you and be honest about who you are. Every congregation I've gone into, one of the first things I tell them the first Sunday is, this is it. This is what you got right here. All my imperfections, I'm going to say things, I'm going to do things that you're going to look at and say, why did you say that? Why did you do that? I'm just like you. And the other thing is, I make sure they understand that I was in the pew. I sat in the pew for many years, and I understand, and I know where you're coming from. So that's why I think that clergy need to understand that we're humans, we make mistakes, and we should admit those. But we should just be real and just be who you are to your congregation. Don't try to be something that you're not. Just be you.
That's a great lesson.
Yeah.
I hope so too. I hope they know that. Yeah. All right. Well, last question. I appreciate your time. So when you think about the future of being pastor here at Hebron United Methodist Church, what three words come to mind when you think of that future together?
Three words: grace, mercy, and love.
Grace, mercy, and love.
Yes.
Say more.
That's what Christ has called us to do and to be. And I think in this world, especially that we're living in today, we don't have a lot of grace. It doesn't seem to be that apparent. Mercy is not something that everyone, is giving. And love is, what is love, right? I mean, we're trying to define that. So my message to the congregation is always about that we have been offered that. We have been given that through Jesus. And we are who we are today because he gave that to us. So we should be giving that to others. And I know I had one person in my congregation who said, Pastor, you get tired of hearing about grace, mercy, and love. No, you shouldn't be tired. You should be saying, how can I give more of that to the people I come in contact with? And this congregation gets that, but I want them to keep getting that because we're about doing church here in this community and spreading that grace and mercy and love. So
grace, mercy, and love. That will be my hope and prayer for you as you continue to pastor this church. Well, Pastor Wayne Williams, thank you so much for being a guest on Pulpit Perspectives podcast.
I'm glad I could do it.
Well, thank you. Pulpit Perspectives podcast exists to create connections among clergy of the North District and their churches. If you want to learn more about all the amazing things God is doing in the midst of the North District, check out the Facebook page and also check out inumc.org. There you'll find all the amazing things that's happening here together. So friends, this has been Pulpit Perspectives Podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Doctor Kent Lundy, signing off for now.
There you have it, a fresh perspective from the pulpit with a great preacher. You know you want to hear more. You can do just that by connecting with Pulpit Perspectives with Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy on Apple Podcast and Spotify, where you can like and follow the podcast. What's more, you can spread the good news about Pulpit Perspectives in your church and with your neighbors. Plan now on joining Kent at the pulpit, where you'll meet another great preacher on Pulpit Perspectives.